sum that up? It looked like you won it when you lost 2-goal lead again, and then Rio and Ngumoha has this great moment at the end.
I would sum it up like that. No, yeah. How do you sum an evening like this up? It felt familiar to me. I think I've experienced a game like this once before. Since I'm here in England, there was Everton away last season, where so many things happened, where it was complete chaos, where the fans were so loud and so there for the home team, and our fans tried to help us as much as they could, but it was an unbelievable atmosphere, and for us to stay strong in that atmosphere for such a long time is worth more to me than when we play every single time out from the back and we have a 4 or a 5-0 win. These wins are, this means more to me than when we play good football, because tonight had, for me, nothing to do with tactics or with good football. It was just a great game to watch, but not because of tactics or good football, but because it was every single second of the game, everybody was at the front of the seat. Is that the way to say?
Just on Rio, obviously a huge moment for him. You obviously have an enormous faith in him to throw him on when you're in need of a goal. How do you sort of sum up his development over the past few months?
Yeah, we needed a goal, but the best part for me of our game was after we've conceded the 2-2. Was also their best part of the game, but what I mean with that is I think they've got 3 or 4 corner kicks after they scored the 2-2, 15 throw-ins, 112 free kicks. Not as many as I'm saying, but it felt as if it was so much, and the two of them were waiting because I didn't feel I could bring them in if we had to defend so many corner kicks and set pieces. So they were so close to scoring the 3-2, but we stood strong. Virgil, Ali, Ibu, they helped us a lot in these moments. And then when at last, after 4 or 5 minutes, we got the ball in a neutral position, I think we got a free kick. I could bring the both of them in. And yeah, it's of course special for him to score a goal in a moment like this. We know how it feels. Last season we've conceded a 3-all in extra, or not in extra time, I think 89 minutes. And now we were the lucky ones, because that's what we were. We were lucky to get a win over the line over here.
Arne, 2-0 up and with an extra man, were you disappointed you didn't control the second half more?
No,
managing?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because that's what their playing style brought. You cannot control a game of football if every single ball is thrown into your 18-yard box. Every throw-in is a long throw-in. Every free kick they get is a long ball. And they can do both. That's why this is such a good team. They can play out from the back if they want to. They can be intense in their pressing. They have so many quality players, but they also have the quality to play a game like this with so many big players. So yeah, you cannot control a game of football. It doesn't. Of course, it helps a little bit to have an extra man in a set piece. But if the goalkeeper takes a ball, there's no use of having an extra player anymore. So with set pieces, it helps a little bit to have one extra player, but not as much as you would like. So it was impossible for us to control the game. When we had the ball, we kept it quite long, and I was hoping for us to do more, to create more, because our attackers were not patient enough. Every time when we were quite calm in the build-up, but when we ended up with our attackers, they should keep the ball longer, and they every time forced a pass. Yeah, the ball went behind, and then we had to defend a long goal kick again. So no, we couldn't control the game better, but that was mainly to do with their playing style and how hard they made it for us.
You must have been delighted, Dominic, obviously having to play in a role he's not used to.
Yeah. Talking about mentality, I think it's not easy to play as a fullback if you've mainly only been a midfielder in your whole career. He played there once in pre-season. I think it was against Stoke when we played behind closed doors. But then in that game we only had the ball, and now he had to defend a lot. And for him to put in a performance like that is then you can say a lot about his mentality, as you can about all the players, because this was mentally such a difficult evening, such a difficult place to go to, such a difficult opponent to play against. And for us to be able to get a result, let alone getting a win, is a big compliment for the boys.
Well, do you think Alisson will be available for Arsenal?
We're hoping, yeah. He had to leave the training pitch 2 days ago. And that would not even be the biggest problem if he would have had a proper pre-season, but he missed out for so many weeks. And there's a reason why you go inside, because you probably feel something. And that is the difficult balance to find with players that are out for so long in pre-season. Because there you bring the base throughout the whole season, and you can see these intensity levels that we faced last week, and this topped it up 10 times, I think. And then you need to be so fit, and then it's also a risk if you bring a player that had a pre-season like this, had to go out 2 days ago in a training session in this environment. With such a long season to go, that was too much of a risk for me. But I'm hoping things improve in the upcoming 1 or 2 days, so that he's available for Sunday.
Arne, is it results like that on nights like this that win titles ultimately?
Well, that's the last thing I think about at this moment, if I'm honest. Winning away at Newcastle, then you definitely need to have quality, especially in an atmosphere like this. And not football quality, because that's not what we showed today, apart from the last goal we scored. That looked a little bit like what I see on a daily basis on the training ground. But to have the mentality to fight here in such a hostile stadium, that definitely is something you also need if you want to compete in the end. Winning is something else, but at least competing, you definitely need to have this mentality. And that's what we showed.